I was talking with a dear friend of mine recently about books. You know, that excited conversation when she tells you she read Hong Kong and you read Morning Glory Milking Farm. And then we discovered that we both wanted to read the same thing. And then she said something that kind of stopped me on my tracks. And she said, "Oh, you're more of a reader than I am." And I was like, more of a reader, what does that even mean? She's like, "Oh, you read more books than I do, like per month, per year, etc." Why is there this idea that if a person reads more books than you, she's like more of a reader than you? Of course, I understand this, like, oh, my friend, she reads 10 books per month. I only read two, so she's more of a reader, but like, aren't we both readers? And that really got me thinking, because I do believe that there is this general idea, especially on the internet, that if you read more books than the next person, then you are a better reader than that person. And I don't know, there's this kind of race. And don't tell me there isn't, because there is. And so, yeah, reading became quantity over quality. And it really isn't, I don't feel like isn't about what did you think about this book. It's more like of how many books did you read this month? Oh, I want to read 25 books per month. Oh, I read 100 books last year. This year I want to read 120 books. What I'm trying to say here is that reading became a performance and not about the reading per se, but more about like this graphic. And that really that puts pressure. I remember that I read like, I'm not going to remember the exact number, but I read like, for example, 30 books in 2023. In 2024 I read less because I was working more, because I had less time to read, and that's okay. That doesn't have to be a bad thing, you know? But here's the uncomfortable question. In reading more books, are we actually reading less? I'm not referring to skimming, because I talked about skimming. It's okay to skim if you are not enjoying the book and you want to finish. Like, there's 20 pages left, let's go. You are the one reading, you are the one obtaining information or entertaining yourself. And so why do we need to show people online that we are reading loads and loads of books, you know? Let me just clarify that I am not criticizing the fact that you read a lot of books, and I'm also not criticizing that you show people that you read books, because that would just contradict my whole channel, right? Because I just come here and talk about the books that I read or about things that I'm writing, and you know. But what I'm questioning here is the need, the pressure also that we feel to show on the internet that we are reading a great number of books. And so that's pretty much it. So there's this new topic recently that is about intelligence becoming an aesthetic, an accessory, and intelligence is back. Intelligence is trending, basically. If you have a well-stocked bookshelf, that means you're cultural, you're sophisticated. We sort of arrange the books by color, by topic. And there's this new thing. This video isn't about that. Maybe I should do a separate video, but there's this new thing. Not really new, because I do feel like as readers, we get that since we are children, that it's what books are more valuable than others. For example, when I was reading Twilight when I was a teenager, adults would be like, that's not really reading, you're just like reading a vampire romance, that's not really reading, you should read self-help books or books that your school recommends and stuff like that. But so that means that Twilight was less valuable than those books. And I actually heard that from a close relative, like, oh, those books that you read aren't actually reading, because they are fantasy and they are fiction, they're not about reality, and so that's not actually like good, those are not good books. And in general, people are just telling you how much do you need to read and what books do you need to read to get to that status. of a sophisticated, refined reader who knows stuff and you're learning about everything. Of course, that's very important. That's like very important. That's why most of us read, I guess, to connect with other authors. I guess that's just the point here, just to connect with authors and also be entertained, learn more things, and view things from another person's perspective. You're never going to get, I don't think, as close to a person's mind as when you're reading the book that they've written. That's really it, isn't it? Because I know books are not the resume or the summary of a person's mind, but if the author allows you, you can get really close to their thoughts and opinions and questions and struggles and joy and all that stuff. There's this another discussion as well as about how people are buying more books and not reading them. This YouTuber, I'm going to reference in the comments because I just forgot her name, but she made an awesome video about that. So you should definitely check that out. I'm going to leave in the comments. But she made this video about how we are buying loads of books and we are not reading them, the consumerism part of it, and if we should get rid of them because we don't have that space in the house. And also, I guess she also touches about the cost of books, because that's another thing. Books are very expensive right now. I don't think it's only here in Brazil. I think in America as well. Books are so expensive. And so the idea that you need to own a lot of books and read a lot of books per month is not realistic, at least for us. We are trying to improve our personal images to other people by showing them how many books we are reading. And that really sucks. And by us, I mean us regular people with day jobs and not booktubers. So because the internet impacted that a lot, of course it did, right? But not only because we're trying to gain information as quickly as possible, right? Because we're seeing all those quick videos and trying to read things, and reduced information is more valuable, and people, because we don't have the time. It's not just the internet's fault, it's also about how we are working so much. We don't have time to consume so much information. Yeah, and that's it. So it's not like I blame you guys or blame people on the internet because they prefer short content. It's because it's hard, and that just really fuels your brain to struggle to pay attention into long form videos or articles and books, especially. Booktubers, book talkers, they impacted the reading and writing industry, the book industry, and in good, very good ways and also bad ways. But since we are focusing on the quantity matter of reading loads of books, I do feel like we cannot take the same rule to measure everyone. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a Brazilian saying. I watch a lot of booktubers and I love them. Like, I love Carrie Can Read. I love many of them. I love with Cindy as well. She's hilarious. But we need to like wake up. We need to be realistic, okay? Because many of them shifted from their day jobs to become full-time booktubers. Some did not, and they still read a lot, and that's awesome for them. But let's just be realistic here for a second. They have a lot of time in their hands to dedicate to reading and making the videos, and that's awesome. I myself have been I've been quite gone from this channel because I needed to travel to work. And so I also to visit family, and so it was just a crazy month. June was a crazy month, and so I didn't have that much time to put into reading and making the videos. And that's fine because it's my life, you know. I have a normal life, like that, a life that doesn't evolve around reading books, unfortunately, because I really like that. And so lucky for them, they can actually spend a lot of time on reading, writing, and doing their videos, and that's amazing. But we cannot, and that's okay. So what I'm trying to say here is, don't compare yourselves to them. Oh, she read 25 books last month. I only read 2. What's wrong with me? Don't do that, because you don't have the time, and that's okay. You don't need to read 25 books per month, guys. If they want to read it, that's awesome for them. That's so cool because they like to do that. all right. You don't need to read that many books per month. You really don't. Is that crazy to say? Because I'm very afraid that people will come here and be like, what are you saying? Like, we shouldn't read. Read is the ultimate gain of information and culture and education. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm just saying that you don't actually need to read that many books. That's literally like capitalism and the system trying to talk in your ear that you need to buy more books and you need to be more present on the internet and you need to know about each book update and everything that's going on, and you need to read more than 100 books per year. And that's not realistic for most people. I don't have any source, but I believe 90%, no, maybe more, 99%, no, maybe less, 95% of the world population don't have the time to read 100 plus books. And that's okay. They can read as much books as they can and want. Because that's another thing. I don't feel like reading right now, and I feel guilty about it. Literally, why? Because you're the only one that is not going to be reading. This is your life. You're the only one reading and experiencing the read. So you should read as much as you can and want. And that's the tea. I would love to dedicate more time into reading books, but I don't have that time, and sometimes I don't have the want. Sometimes I just want to watch a film. I don't read every single day. I try to, but I don't read every single day. And the result is that I only read 2 to 3 books per month. Maybe, oh my God forbid, 1 book per month. That's not a reason to be ashamed. That's not a reason to be ashamed. Okay. If you read less books than last year, that just means you spend more time reading and absorbing, because there's also the quality perspective of it. Because I can read 10 books that I think are shitty and that are like 200 pages long, and that's all. That's cool, but I can also read 2 books of like 300 plus pages that are awesome. And that for me, it's just like so much better. And that's the information that my brain will retain. So yeah, just don't compare yourselves to those people. I do feel like we need to take a step back and read the things that we want to read for the purposes that we want to read. If you want to read romance, read romance. If you want to read sci-fi, read sci-fi. If you want to read self-help books, read self-help books. But I guess don't feel influenced to do otherwise and feel guilty about it just because somebody on the internet that has a lot of time on their hands told you to, because that's your life. And here I am trying to counsel you or somehow, and you also doesn't mean that you need to hear me, because guess what, that's your life. So instead of giving up on slow reading, first of all, slow reading, don't give up on your ability to get past one chunk of paragraph. Try and get through, just don't give up, because that will improve your ability to focus, your ability to pay attention. That's cool, that's good. You need to, oh no, because I need to read 10 books this month. Guys, come on, who is counting? Like, oh no, but I have subscribers. I have this channel. I'm literally, as you can see, I don't have many viewers, and that's fine. But when I have the possibility to turn this into like my focus, I will read 5 books per month. That's right, you heard me. Also, don't buy that many books, because if you want to, of course you can. Oh my God, don't counsel me, but don't buy that many books, because if you don't have the time to read them, because that will only cause you financial stress. Books are a joy. They are a joy. Like I said, I love to read a book and feel like I'm connecting with an author and just escaping in another world. But yeah, don't turn read into work. It's not work. If it's work for you, whatever. I'm just like talking with a certain type of people who has a normal daily job, who is of middle class or lower. Don't turn reading into work. It's a joy. You should definitely get on your weekends and open that book that you wanted to read for so long and just enjoy yourself and not stress over finishing it. Oh my god, you should definitely do that. Also, try and read something that challenges you and is out of your bubble. For example, I wasn't a fan of sci-fi, and then I started reading it and it was awesome. I like, as you get in the last video, I talked about Project Hail Mary, and it was the first book of that kind that mixes physics and space and stuff, and so it was just really a struggle at first, but then it was just the best read of the year and I loved it so much. So yeah, you should read what you like, but also give challenging books a chance as well. Instead of reading 10 books about things that you already know and that you know what I mean, like. So here's my challenge, and also I have a couple of questions for you guys in the comments. But my challenge is, for this month of July, or the month that you are currently in, don't count the books you're reading. Insane, right? Don't think about your reading goals. Pick one book that you want to read for a while and read it when you have the time for it. Read it slowly, enjoy yourself, yeah, and see what happens. Is the point, I think, also at the end of the day, we are just being treated, and we are also being compelled to transform ourselves into machines during work and outside of work, and that's just so exhausting. You're not a machine, you're a human being in the first place, you know. And so my questions for you in the comments, please answer them, because I want more viewers and more subscribers so I can read more books, because if I can focus on a YouTube channel, I will read more books. And then I will post a video like in a few years about how I read 200 books this year, and then you guys can like take this video of me and then you can be like, oh, she's such a hypocrite, look what she said, and you know, that would just be really awesome. Like, oh my gosh, she's contradicting herself in this book, in this video. She's contradicting herself in this video. Look at that. She criticized booktubers who read a lot, and look, that would just be so cool. That would just be awesome. Okay, I'm being sarcastic because like somebody told me recently that I needed to work on my sarcastic tone because people don't really understand when I'm being sarcastic, and that just sucks because I want to be like serious when I say the sarcastic things that I meant to say. But recently I was like at this birthday, and then I was just making a lot of jokes in sarcastic mode, just such as this. People were not understanding, and I was just like, what if I'm doing this in the videos or in work or generally in life as well? What if I'm saying things and people are taking it seriously? I heard what I said, okay, just let it be. Let it be. Okay, so here's the questions. What is your reading goal for 2025, and why did you choose that number? Why? Think about it. Have you ever felt pressure to own more books? Also think about that. And do you agree with me? What did you think about my perspective, my take on this? Like, be honest, but don't be mean, because there's only me here and I will read your comment, and that's just not very nice of you. Wait until there's hundreds of thousands of views, and then you can like be very mean and say horrible stuff in the comments. Then you can do that, but for now, don't. Otherwise, I will read it and I'll just be like, I told them not to do it. Are they actually watching my videos? They are not. YouTube says they are not, but that's fine. That's also fine. I actually have therapy right now and I forgot, so I will just go to therapy, I guess. Okay, so yeah,